Hi, I'm Jake from TradeLab.ai. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up DaviddTech strategies in TradeLab using the pre-made DaviddTech templates. The first thing we're going to do is open up the Community Strategies page on the left side, and then we're going to scroll down until we find the DaviddTech templates. These templates can be used with any DaviddTech strategy, and we have three of them. The first one is a combo template. This allows you to trade long and short within one strategy, one bot. You'll see that it says long right here, but this is actually going to change depending on what alerts it hears. So it'll change between long and short, and it'll do both. If you only want to trade long or short, we have separate templates, and we also recommend using separate templates when you're swing trading. Oftentimes with swing trading, you'll get entry and exit alerts very quickly. And in order to prevent any overlap, we recommend running long and short templates side by side, as well as turning on hedge mode in the settings under risk management so that there's no overlap. So we'll go ahead and press copy on the long strategy as an example, and I'll set this up. Press yes to copy. It'll bring us back to the My Strategy screen, and we can see the DaviddTech long template is ready, so I can press Edit. Then it'll start the strategy setup process. The strategy setup screen will tell us that we have to follow 5 steps to set up our alerts, so let's go ahead and do that now. First thing it'll ask us is to select our exchange. If you haven't set up an exchange, you can do that in the settings screen. It'll then ask us to select a symbol. I'll go ahead and select Bitcoin today. And then it'll ask us to set up a David strategy. So the David strategy name can usually be left default. You don't need to change this. It doesn't matter what strategy you use. This can be left default. The only reason that you need to change this is if you're using 2 DaviddTech strategies at the same time, 2 different ones like an ultimate scalper and a super trend at the same time on the same symbol. If you're using a super trend on ETH and an ultimate scalper on Bitcoin, that's fine. If you're using them both on Ethereum at the same time, then you need to make sure that these are separate. Just type something different. Type an ultimate or super scalper and just make sure that they're different. Otherwise, leave it as default and it'll make things a whole lot easier. Okay, so the next thing is it'll ask us if we want to enable break-even. By default, David usually sets up a break-even for a stop loss so that whenever you hit the take profit, your stop loss moves up to your entry price plus fees. So that's what we do here. We can go ahead and enable break-even and we'll do the same thing. Go ahead and press continue. And now it's going to show us those 5 steps to set up our alerts. So this is how we set up alerts in TradingView. First thing we'll do is click on the API entry long, and we'll read the instructions. It says, open the indicator settings in TradingView and scroll down to find the alert section. There should be 4 input boxes. So let's go over to TradingView, and we'll find our DaviddTech strategy. I'm using the big extender today. So we can press the settings button, open up the settings and scroll all the way down, and we'll find the alert section. So you actually see that there's 2 alert sections. This bottom alerts is for multiple take profits. We do support multiple take profits, and David is going to send all that information to us, but we don't need this section right here. So you can leave this alone. We're only going to use these 4 boxes right here. We don't need to check this box, and we don't need to change this. That is all okay. So all we need to do is go over to the instructions here, and it says copy the message into the API entry long text box. So if we press the message, it'll copy it for us. We'll come over here and we'll paste this into the API entry long. All right. So if we go back and we press the back button, we can go to the second step, and this is for API exit long. So if we copy this, we're going to do the same exact thing, paste that in. All right. We'll do the same thing for the API entry short. And once again for the API exit short. So that's 4 messages, 4 boxes, everything's filled up now. While you're in here, you can go ahead and set up your stop loss and your take profits using the multiple take profit levels. You can also use ATR, high, low, whatever you want to use. We support that. So just go ahead and press OK. And now that that's set up, the last thing we need to do is set up a TradingView alert. So if we press back, we have one more step, the DaviddTech TradingView alert. If we press this and read the instructions, it says, create a new alert in TradingView and match the settings below. So if we go over to TradingView, we can press the Create Alert button up here, and that'll pop up this pop-up. And at the top, we can select the condition Big Extender, right? So if we look back at our condition right here, it says pick any DaviddTech strategy and then select Order Fills Only. That's what the instructions tell us. So we can pick our DaviddTech strategy and then select Order Fills Only. All right. The next thing is the expiration time. The expiration time is a little bit important. If you have a premium account, you can check open-ended and you don't have to worry about this. If you don't have a premium account, it'll only let you run an alert for about a month, maybe 2 months, and you can set this out for about a month ahead, right? If this expires and we go past that month, then your alert is going to turn off and your bot won't work anymore. So every month or so, you need to set a reminder on your phone to come in here and extend this. You can just click on it and put it out another month and everything will be okay. So keep an eye on that, the expiration time. For the alert actions, these first 3 checkboxes are up to you. We don't really need them, but if you want to send an email or show a pop-up, you can do that. The last one, webhook URL, is the most important. So we'll go ahead and check that, and we'll go back to TradeLab, and we'll see the webhook URL right here. If we just click on that, it'll copy it, and we can paste that in. And now we are sending an alert to TradeLab, and that's how it knows how to send to your strategy. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is click on the name, and we can paste that in to the alert name. And then for the message, we're going to copy this as well and paste that into the message. So this is what your alert should look like. We're going to go ahead and press create. And now we have our alert set up. It'll pop up right here on the right side, and it's ready to go. You'll need to have selected the correct interval and the correct symbol as well. So if you didn't do that, you'll have to redo the alert. You can just go ahead and press remove and select a different interval or symbol and go ahead and recreate the alert. Every time that you change your settings in here, you will need to delete this alert and recreate it. Every time that you create an alert, it bakes in the settings that you have currently. So if you are changing your symbol or if you're changing your settings here, you need to press the delete button at the top here and then go through that last setup process again, that last step. And if you're done with this, we can press back and we can press all done. And now we're all finished, right? If you ever need that again, you can go to alert instructions right at the top here, and you can go to that bottom last step and you can set this up again, okay? So that's how you set that up. Press back, press all done, and we're ready to go. So now we need to talk about how to set up our trade settings. So the first thing that we're worried about is our amount. We've already selected our symbol and we already selected our exchange. So how much are we going to trade? Now in TradeLab, there's a couple different ways to set up your amount. So if I want to type in, say, $50, I can trade $50 every time. So we can see our estimated margin size is $50. That would be an estimated 0.002 BTC at the reference price of 42,000. So if I wanted to then change my leverage to say 10 leverage, we can see that this will change my order size to 0.012 BTC, whereas my margin price doesn't change. Margin is how much I put in. Okay. Now what I can do is I can change this to say coin, and I can say I want to trade half of a Bitcoin, so 0.5, and with 10 leverage would be 5 Bitcoin. Okay, and if I say I only want to do 1 leverage, then we're back to half of a Bitcoin. All right. We can also select percentage, and this allows us to compound and roll our profits. So if I wanted to say 5%, that would be an estimated $42 of my balance right now. So that's 5% of my available balance. Okay, that would net me 0.001 BTC at the current price. And if I profit on this trade, the next time I place a trade, my balance will be higher. So this margin size will be a little bit bigger. And so that allows you to sort of snowball and compound your profits or your losses. The next thing we need to take a look at is order type. So you can either do a market or a limit. If you want more information about how this works, you can actually click on this black box and it'll give you all the information that you need about how limit and market orders work. Usually we want to do a limit order to save fees and to get the best price. However, selecting a limit order means that it will stay open for as long as it takes to fill. To prevent that, we can do immediate or cancel, and that will try to place it, and if it doesn't place, it will immediately cancel the order. Sometimes that's not what we want. Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to fill, and that's okay. So we would select GTC, which is good till cancel. And again, if you need more information about this, you can click this black eye, and it'll pop up all the information that you need on each of these options. Okay, so here we're going to select good till cancel, and that's going to keep this limit order open for us. Okay, then what we need to be worried about is how long are we going to keep it open? We have a limit timeout function right here, which will allow it to only stay open for a certain amount of time. This is hours, minutes, and seconds. So right now, by default, I have it set up to only stay open for 1 minute. So it'll place a limit order for a certain price. It'll try to fill it for 1 minute. If it doesn't fill, it'll cancel, and it'll go back to looking for entry and try to find another entry. We also have a limit offset setting, which allows you to pad your bid. That way you can have a better chance of getting your order filled. You can do the same thing here. You can pad it via a percentage, via a exact USD or a coin amount. Okay, and we do all the math for you. We'll go ahead and convert whatever you want. So it doesn't matter what your exchange is expecting. You can enter in what's comfortable for you, and we'll send it to the exchange properly. All right, so with that, we have everything set up. Our take profit and stop loss lines are going to come directly from David. So you just need to set up your take profit and stop loss in David's settings, and he'll send all that information to us. And that's all we need to set up our long strategy. So we'll click save and exit. And we'll now see that it's set up for Bitcoin, and it's searching, and it's looking for entry. This means that it's running, and it's looking for a signal from TradingView to enter a trade. Okay, so let's talk about how to set up a short now. We'll go over to Community Strategies, and this will be a whole lot quicker because we've already set up the alerts, and we don't need to set them up again for the short. So just as an example, I'm going to click copy and set up a short. All right, now we have our short template. I'll go ahead and click edit. Now for the strategy setup, we don't actually need to do our alerts, but we will go ahead and enter the strategy setup. So we'll click do it now, and we'll set up our exchange and our symbol just like we did before. We'll also type in our strategy name if we've changed it, and we'll make sure that our break even is set the way we want. We'll click continue, and here we can actually skip these. So we'll just click skip. Now we have everything set up the way we want for our symbol and exchange. We just need to set up our trade amount and our order type the way that we want. If you changed anything else on the long, be sure to do so here. And that should be all we need. So go ahead and click save and exit. And now our short is set up. It is also looking for entry, and we're ready to go. So now let's talk about how to test these. Click edit on the long. In TradingView, we're not actually able to send a test alert. And so you'll end up waiting for alerts to fire, and it can take a long time. With TradeLab, I've created a way for you to send test alert anytime that you want. So if we click the alerts tab up here at the top right, we'll see the alerts that we saw earlier and that we set up. If you click on the little mail button here, this is the send test alert feature. This allows us to select what information we want to send. So because David isn't sending this alert, we'll have to type in our take profit and our take amounts manually. I usually just leave this as 0 because I just want to see if the alert is going to go through and what it's going to do. This won't affect if it is able to place a trade or not, right? So we'll just go ahead and leave this as default. And then the place real orders will allow us to actually place an order so that it'll send to the exchange. If this is unchecked, it'll tell you that it's placed an order, but it won't actually place the order. Okay. So let's go ahead and press send alert. And now we can see our alert sent, and we can see the long template ran. We can see that it ran our alert, and it went ahead and placed a trade. Here we can see that the long template has the enter long rule, and this rule ran successfully. Here's all the information that it went through, all the conditions, and then here's the actions that it ran, since those conditions were all successful. All right, so more information about this screen and how this works in the troubleshooting video, but this allows you to see what the bot is doing so that at any time, if something isn't working, you can figure out why and try to fix it. All right, so we just successfully sent our first alert. If we go back to the My Strategy screen, we can see that the DaviddTech long template is in a trade. It's in an open long, and it's now looking for exit. So now it's running the exit rules. And in a second, it's actually going to close. So because I didn't type in my stop loss or my take profit, it's going to run the rules and find that it has crossed the stop loss, and it no longer needs to be running. So it's going to go ahead and close, and now it's closed. So that's a pretty good test. And now we can wait for David to send us some alerts and see if it goes for real. All right, and that's all we need to do to set up DaviddTech strategies in TradeLab. If you have any more questions, feel free to join us on Discord. There are a couple more DaviddTech videos that you can watch. One that breaks down how I built this strategy so that maybe you can build your own strategy. And then also another video that talks about setting up multiple symbols. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content.